Louise, welcome to Cashrewards HQ. It's great to have you here. I'm really excited to talk a little bit more about our partnership with the Starlight Children's Foundation.
I'm really thrilled to be here, and it's something I like to chat about too.
What I would love to know a bit more about is the foundation of the partnership. I've been at Cashrewards now for about 9 months, and the foundation of the partnership is something that's really interesting to me.
It is, and I remember vividly the first meeting that we had with your founder, who'd been introduced to us via a third party. We went into the meeting and he was talking with great enthusiasm of what he had planned. It was exciting because to have a new business and someone who was so entrepreneurial, really thinking from day one about the fact that they could be giving back and have such a rich and wonderful culture within Cashrewards right from the start, that in itself was amazing. And he talked in that moment and in that meeting about the fact that obviously he had a deep connection with Starlight because of his son's illness as a child. And it really made that so much more authentic, that's where he was coming from. I remember that the discussion then was about 1%, which it, is to this day. And we left that meeting excited because how else could you be anything but also with this discussion of, well, if this business takes off, that will be wonderful, but who knows? So it was one of those moments where we thought it could be 1% of nothing, but it's a lovely gesture either way, and let's hope it's 1% of something. And it's turned out to be some 1% of something that was pretty magical. So that's how it all started.
What I love is giving our members the opportunity when they withdraw their cash to know that 1% goes back to such a fantastic cause. And what it does for our team at Cashrewards is it enables them to work to a greater cause. It's one of our key values is we work to a greater cause, and we often celebrate opportunities to have our teams contribute by doing fundraising themselves. And this Friday we're all playing football to, raise some funds for the foundation. And so I would love to be able to take back to the team, what are some of the things that you're doing with the funding that you receive from partners like Cashrewards to help sick kids?
I think that you have to have that starting point of what it's like to be a seriously ill child. Whenever I talk to a parent, they'd never say to me, last year when my child was diagnosed, they always relay to me the exact date and the time. And you have in that moment a complete understanding of how that is burned into their memory forever, because that's the day that the life of their child changed, but importantly of their whole family. And so I think that's really powerful from the start. And what happens in these families is the mum and dad, immediately there's some separation there because somebody has to go and sit at the bedside of the seriously ill child for 24/7. And if they're regional families, there's enormous separation that's there. But even if they're city families, it means that, and it's generally mum who will go into the hospital, potentially leaving a job for that amount of time. And then dad's at home, sometimes having to do tasks that may not be tasks that he's doing regularly. So he might be in charge of the cooking, the cleaning, the homework, the school uniforms, the uniform run. So we have this real dysfunction on the family. The parents want to swap their life for the child who's seriously ill, and they can't do that. And then we move on to the siblings who are really worried and concerned about their brother or sister, but also jealous of all the attention that they're getting. And then you come to the child themselves, who is going through incredibly painful treatments. They're torn away from everything that's familiar and fun to them. But at the same time, they're feeling guilty that their illness has caused this to the family. And this is where Starlight steps in. And we step in with a range of programs which are about transforming that hospital experience and that engagement with the team to make it a really positive experience. It's about overcoming that social isolation. So what we do is about social connection, which is so incredibly important, especially for children, but for all of us. And then moments of sheer entertainment and fun. It really is being able to give those children a chance to simply be a child. And that's what you enable us to do. And I think to date, or we're getting very close to, it's over 45,000 children. And you've helped us to change their life for their entire length of stay in hospital. And that's pretty amazing. When you think that some of these children are in hospital, they're not just in overnight, some for weeks, months, even years. To have Starlight there to brighten their life, which is our mission, and we do that against a vision of happiness. And what we say is that we want everyone to experience a happy childhood, because happiness in your childhood is the strongest determinant of how you will perform in your education, your employment, and importantly, with long-term healthy life behaviours. When you're seriously ill as a child, your ability to be happy is significantly impacted. So Cashrewards support helps us to ensure that sick kids can have those moments of being happy.
I mean, that's so powerful for us to take to our teams to continue to encourage them with the efforts they go to support, directly with fundraising, but also providing great value to our many members, knowing that when the cash is redeemed, that is helping a brilliant cause, as well as getting extra value on their shopping. I mean, personally, I was unfortunate enough to have to spend time in hospital with a sick son myself. My son had heart surgery, and what I didn't anticipate was the support of organisations like yours, having those moments to brighten lives of kids and families who are going through a pretty tough time. My son was only 9 months when he had to travel interstate to have heart surgery. But what I do recall was that my eldest son, who was about 3 at the time, managed to get the opportunity to go and visit Starlight Room. And that for him was an absolute highlight of that. Was a pretty tough period. So for me personally, I've had that background moment with the Starlight Children's Foundation myself, and it was a really sort of comforting thing to know that, my other son, who was probably not the center of attention at that time, had an opportunity to go and, have a moment of fun and joy in what was an otherwise pretty challenging period of time. So for that work, we thank you, and we love the opportunity to support.
I think that point about siblings is really important, because, a mother will say to me, this is my 5-year-old son. He's completely well, and he's spent every day of his life in hospital because his older sibling has been diagnosed with something. And we kind of forget, but our Starlight Express rooms are full of those siblings. And it also importantly gives the child who's seriously ill a real comfort to know their brother or sister is in hospital with them, but they're not whinging and bored in the room with them. They're off doing something that is great and fun for them. So it really is important, and gives peace of mind to the parents too, because sometimes, you go on a ward visit with our Captain Starlights when they're doing their rocket rounds, and I see the parents, and sometimes the child seems to be okay and the parents seem to be absolutely spent. They're so exhausted emotionally and physically. And for them to be able to come into the room too, have a cup of coffee and see their child happy and smiling, that can really change things for the parents as well.
I can absolutely relate to that. We've also got family friends, and their nephew was a Starlight child, and he recalls how lucky he was for the experience that he had, because his sister didn't get the same opportunity, and that was given to him by the Starlight team bringing in video games. So he got to play video games while he was in hospital. And to those parents, that was an absolute, a godsend in terms of breaking up the challenge of being in a pretty difficult situation.
No, it is. Sometimes when I'm presenting to schools, I'll be talking to the kids about what we do, because I really love this concept of well kids supporting sick kids.
Yeah.
And I've had kids sometimes say, oh, that sounds like fun. Maybe I want to go to hospital. It's like, oh, no. No, you don't.
Exactly. At Cashrewards, we are customer obsessed. And what we love about the Starlight Children's Foundation partnership is that when our customers get value, we also give back to a brilliant cause. And the other key value for us is we work to a greater cause. So knowing that we are supporting, sick kids and their families during a really difficult time is something that we as a team hold really precious in terms of our team's engagement and our team's drive to do a brilliant job for Cashrewards. Can you talk to me about how that helps the Starlight Children's Foundation and the link to values there?
I think that you can smell an organisation that has real authenticity about their values. And, when you're looking for values within an organisation, you don't have an offsite and have some ivory tower design them for you. You find your values because they're within your organisation. And if you think right back to the beginning of Cashrewards, it's no surprise really that you have such strength in your values and such commitment within your team, which is something that we at Starlight experience when we're engaging and interacting with all of the Cashrewards team members around the country. So I think it's really obvious that it's authentic, and it's also really synergistic with what we have as values. Now at Starlight, we have moved to the position of having one value, and our value is to shine, but we shine in different ways. So we talk about shining for purpose, and that is shining for those children. So that's about customer centricity, because, you know, those children are the people who we are supporting and serving every day. So they're kind of our customers. So we shine for them. We shine by being positive, and positive psychology is something, everything we do for the children and young people is built on the tenets of positive psychology to help them support their well-being and build their resilience. And so we actually always train our team in positive psychology. So that one is really clear as well. So it's that positive mindset, which also taps into being entrepreneurial and creative. We shine by bringing our best self today. That's a commitment from every team member to say, I'm going to be the best I can possibly be at Starlight every day. And we shine brighter together, which also matches, you know, your values. And that's all about that collaboration and teamwork, which, you know, is something that's important internally and externally. So when you look at the value set that our two organisations have, and the fact that there's a real authenticity around that, it really is not surprising that the organisations have created such a strong partnership that really delivers mutual benefit. And, you know, we want your team to be incredibly proud of what they help Starlight to achieve. We love it when they own it and drive their own fundraising, either at a team level or personally. When your team is taking kind of control and championing that, that's when you have a really wonderful, that's that sweet spot that we all want to hit.
Yeah. We love getting behind the opportunity to raise some funds for what is a brilliant cause. And one of the other great events we ran was what we call Thankathon, where we all come in and we write a thank you card to those volunteers who are helping your organisation. Where does that go? Where do those volunteers come from, and how does receiving a thank you from an organisation like Cashrewards, what does that mean to those people?
As part of POS Psych, appreciation and gratitude is really important. Now, I've seen that word gratitude actually on the wall here at Cashrewards. So again, there's that alignment. But for us to be able to hand a thank you card, even out of the blue, to someone and show them that they are deeply appreciated, that's incredibly important, because we can't do what we do without our supporters, without our volunteers. You know, volunteering has been part of our DNA at Starlight since day one, and your team supports us in this way. So being able to do a really beautiful thank you message to that person, it really can help them in terms of the way they feel so positive about whatever it is that they do for Starlight.
So Louise, at Cashrewards, we are pioneers. We're very entrepreneurial and innovative, and we also like to succeed together and work really closely with our partners. So we're constantly looking to have great relationships with all of our partners, and for that to come to fruition in terms of great member experience and great outcomes for our members. How does that work in with the partnership that we've got with you at Starlight Children's Foundation?
Again, I think we've got one of those snap moments, because we truly believe that, you know, relationships are core to any organisation and business. And the way you grow businesses is by building on those amazing relationships. And again, you know, that whole creativity and entrepreneurship that, you know, you speak of, which is clearly part of Cashrewards right from day one, is also something that we consider at Starlight. You know, we actually were awarded by the AFR as the most innovative organisation in Australia in the not-for-profit sector. We like to be incredibly creative and always look for opportunities, even within a crisis. What is it that we can do? And not to improve things for tomorrow, but so that we can actually improve whatever it is we're doing into the future and, you know, in a sustainable way. So, you know, we have innovation champions, and I think that really matches your entrepreneurial attitude at Cashrewards, all with both of us always focused on that customer experience. And so it isn't then surprising at all that our teams work really well together. They're coming up with great ideas of other ways for being involved, and that we can share wonderful stories with your customers, which means that there's that real mutual benefit, which is what we want to achieve there for not only the team who are engaged, but also your customers. And that's really important to us.
We're always trying to build what we refer to as our flywheel, being more merchants with great offers, more members participating in those great offers. And that flywheel then enables us to generate more cashback for customers, which then results in us contributing to the Starlight Foundation. So I think that notion of succeeding together is something we are really, really passionate about. And what our teams do to buy into that, they know that they're working to, deliver great value to the Starlight Children's Foundation, and it really contributes to us having a great place to work. And we were certified as a great place to work this year. How does that come to light within the Starlight organisation?
Our team is so incredibly important to Starlight, and we're also a great place to work and have our accreditation for this year. And so I think, that values alignment, that real care for the team, and also really wanting to have fun, because I think that's something that you can see is really important to Cashrewards, and it's really important to Starlight. Everything we're doing is fun and inspiring and uplifting for the kids, and it's about helping those kids rediscover their childhood. And so it's not a bad idea if we as adults do that too from time to time. So I think, I say it's the only place I can work where I can go home with glitter on myself every day. And I think it's those moments of just being completely silly that can break sometimes a really, tough moment or challenging moment in work. And I think to have the purpose, which means that can also lift that burden, but have that ability to really show your true colours, is something that you can see with your team at Cashrewards, and we like to be involved with too at Starlight.
We've got our Kick for Kids fundraising event on Friday, and it's going to be a great opportunity for us to have fun as a team. There's a lot of competition about this, a lot of serious effort going into wanting to win, but at the end of the day, it's a great opportunity to have fun, and our team are really excited to use that as a chance to contribute and raise some much needed funds.
I know that you're helping us with Kick for Kids, and also I think, Starlight Super Swim. We love a bit of competition because competition will help those fundraising results, and we like that. At Starlight, what we summarise what we do for the children, and you can really see this when you come into a Starlight Express room and see a child come into the space for the first time, often with their head down, their shoulders down, in a wheelchair with an IV drip. And you see them lift when they come in, and then moments later you see that child roaring with laughter, completely forgetting where they are and why. And that's what we want to achieve at Starlight. And we talk about this and we say we transform the pain, fear and stress into fun, laughter and joy. And that's incredibly important for those kids.
You spoke earlier about values alignment, and us inserting joy is part of our brand positioning, and that gives us a great opportunity, not only with positioning for our customers, but also our team members. And in May this year, we held an event called Joyathon, and Joyathon actually also created an opportunity for us to raise the bar by competing with one another to push ourselves in terms of running, walking, cycling. And that event helped, the team raised $35,000 as part of that event. So it's great to know that the fundraising activity, the opportunity to have joy at work, is also inserting joy into what is a really difficult time for kids and their families. So a really great relationship and partnership opportunity for us.
And when we saw that you guys had created a Joyathon, we were joyful because that was just lovely, and we've never seen that before. So we were really glad that it worked so well for your team, and they were so highly engaged with that.
Well, thank you very much, Louise, for coming into Cashrewards HQ. It's been great to chat and find out a little bit more about Starlight, and we want to continue to embrace the partnership. It's been fantastic for us and our team, so thank you very much.
Well, from my perspective, it's a huge thank you to you, because you have helped us to support thousands and thousands of children at a time when they really need it, and we cannot thank you enough. So if you can pass on our thanks to the entire Cashrewards team, that would be wonderful.